construction business for that matter, pretty much.
When our
Oh,
guys don't act like children.
hey, look at that.
Oh,
uh,
live.
I didn't see it switch over. That was funny. Anyway, good day, everybody. Good new op day for this new op day, July. I don't even know what the date is today, but it's a.
It's the 13th.
Oh, good. My favorite day of the month, July 13th, 2015, new op day. Here we are with the Sell a House. I'm sorry. Here we are with the Swissquote Global Independent Business Network Marketing Training, number 159. At least I know that much, 159. What do you got to say there, Mr. Johnny Boyle? You're not even there yet. What are you doing?
No, I'm here. I'm here. I was turning off that light behind my head right there.
Oh.
So
you had
put a gleam on here.
Going too?
Yeah, I say happy new op day. Welcome to the hangout. July 13th. Yeah, you know, I remember this date because on the 15th, which is a Wednesday, I'm leaving on a trip for two weeks and 2 days with my kids. Got my fingers crossed. Me and a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old on the plane together. I don't know. It's going to be pretty nuts, I think. And so, yeah, and you know why I get to go on a trip for 16 days and it doesn't hurt my income, it doesn't hurt my business? It's because of business systems, which is kind of what we always talk about on new op days, is the Own Your Life Plan business system. So I believe
this little system right here.
I believe we wrapped up. Let me go grab mine right here. It's next to me. I believe we wrapped up with Chapter 17, if I'm not mistaken, last week, which just leaves us.
Actually, we wrapped up with Chapter 18, which 18, is.
That's right.
Is in actuality the final chapter of the quote system, and then from here on out we have some additional. We get first of all, Chapter 19 is Vision for Lifestyle and Leadership. A special message from Nancy Fela, which we're going to kind of go through today, followed by some appendix chapters that have some additional information too that we're going to run through over the next couple of new op days, and then we will start this whole thing over again from Chapter 1 and run you through this a second time, which is going to be awesome because if you followed through on the first time, you're going to be going through the second time going, wow, I never even heard that the first time. How did I miss that?
Which is why Monday is, new op day is Own Your Life Plan Day, because we will continue to go over this book until really, even after we have it memorized, we can still go over it and probably find some new information to share.
Exactly, and you know what? It'll just make these presentations will just get cleaner and cleaner, and they'll bring out more and more information, and you will get that much more excited each and every time you come through here and look at and go through these chapters. And you know what? That is what happens. You know, you might run into a little bit of a lag time where you sort of, fall off your wagon, so to speak, as far as getting out there and doing whatever it is you need to be doing, sponsoring or helping your people or whatever. But then you come through here and you go back through the system again, and all of a sudden you're all excited. Maybe it's Chapter 2, maybe it's Chapter 7, maybe it's Chapter 18. Who knows which one, but something in there will spark something within you, and off you go again. You're all excited. You're back out there doing your thing and building your organization again. So that's the awesome thing about it. Just keep going through it over and over again, right on the heels of one finish, right back to the beginning, and keep your motivation up, keep your inspiration up, keep your drive going, keep you out there doing what you need to do and building and supporting your organization.
Absolutely. So with that being said, why don't you kind of kick things off, and let's just dive right into Chapter 19, and maybe by the end of next Hangout, we'll complete the book and we can start over again.
Yeah, Chapter 19 is, this is from Nancy Fela, who is Don's wife, who pretty much wrote the book, and she is, I'm very curious because Don talks about at one point in time in here, I forget which chapter it's in, but he talks about how, if your spouse isn't on board with what you're doing, that you just have to, sort of punch forward with it. And that, once they see some results coming out of this, generally they'll come aboard and want to get more interested and see what's going on. Etc. I'm very curious if these two started out that way, or if Nancy was, kind of like jumped in right on board right from the very beginning. I'm very curious about that. But she's been a very inspirational part to Don, and I guess there's a saying that says, "Behind every man is a supportive woman." Every successful man is a supportive woman, but I'm sure that that is what Nancy is to Don, and she's very inspirational these days, especially after being in this for so long with Don. And that's pretty much what this is all about. She just is bringing a message here that talks about the lifestyle, so to speak. She really focuses heavily on promoting the lifestyle and the leadership within your organization. And that's really what this chapter 19 is all about.
Right, lifestyle and leadership, and it's right there in the title, which is actually two very important, without even getting into what the chapter says exactly, are two very key important attributes of anybody getting into business for themselves, especially in networking marketing, is that you get into this business really for the lifestyle, for the time. It's right there in the 45-second presentation that we sometimes start these hangouts with. It's all about the lifestyle, that having the time affordability that a network marketing organization gives to you, and then being a leader, because you want to be attracting people into your business and keeping them on board with the business by just being a leader. And you know what makes a good leader is knowing who to turn to maybe for the answers, or who to turn their people to get an answer. So you don't necessarily in this business have to be like, man, you might watch these hangouts that Paul and I do, excuse me, and be like, I don't think I can get on live on air and talk about this. I'm an introvert person. Hogwash, first of all. Second of all, you don't even need to be that kind of a person, as long as you know what your strengths and weaknesses are, and you have a strong upline in this business. You could be a leader just by simply opening your mouth, introducing Swiss Gold Global, the story, and then just introducing that person to Paul or myself to close the deal, so to speak, and refer them to us for these hangouts, refer them to Jeff Fagan for the Street Smart Success Daily Call every morning. So being a leader doesn't necessarily mean you have to get up and be the presenter and hosting these events at your house, but you could be a leader simply by just bringing people to the people like Paul and I or Jeff Fagan with the answers. So I just wanted to throw in my idea on those two concepts there, and then let you kind of continue into what the book says.
Well, I like the way she just starts this out here. She talks about that her and Don have been traveling the world for 28 years now, and she says, we are international lifestyle trainers, and we teach people how to have a better quality of life through building successful network marketing organizations. We love what we do, and that because and that is because when you are successful in network marketing, you're well and you're happy. And she says the fact of the matter is, in network marketing, you don't work hard for a living, you build smart for a lifestyle. And I think that's that really kind of narrows down the whole difference between sort of this being a business of selling to, a business of, just creating associations with people is really what it's all about. I like, she uses an example here of a woman that she met in Thailand that was working in a factory, and she was making the equivalent of about $120 a month. And after this woman got the vision of network marketing and learned what she needed to do, she turned that into making $20,000 a month. And then another woman in New York, and this one's very interesting, who worked in a bank and was actually making over $100,000 a year. But she wanted to have some children, but she wanted to have what she really wanted, though, she had no time. She was making $100,000 a year, but she had no time. And what she really wanted was, you know, a relationship and some children, and she didn't have any time for that. She had plenty of money, obviously, making 100 grand a year, but what good is money if you have no time, right? I mean, she obviously, working at this bank, basically had to be there day in and day out to keep that $100,000 a year coming in. And that's where the real key here, the difference is the vision of network marketing, is this lady's making $100,000 a year, but she has to put all her time into the creation of that $100,000 a year. Network marketing is in building an organization is where you can create that $100,000 a year where you don't really have to put very, very little time towards it still coming in. And you can then spend your time turning around and doing something else. And that's really, really, really powerful stuff right there.
Right, absolutely. I will just throw in that, you know, it is about leveraging your time so you can live the lifestyle you want. Because really, think about what good is all the money in the world if you had all the money in the world but you had no time to go out and do the things you want to do or spend your time spending the money that you have if you don't have time to yourself or time to do the things that you want to do. And, you know, I want to bring up the fact that one of the things that gets me excited about introducing people to network marketing, especially this day and age, is because, you know, you're talking about that lady with the $100,000 a year job. Well, I was just talking to a buddy of mine on Saturday morning. Oh gosh, I just used the word morning. Saturday rising, I guess we'd say. I was just talking to someone Saturday that has, for the last couple years, has been working at Bank of America doing loans, has been doing very well, and has been making over $110,000 a year, working about 50 to 60 hours a week because he has to give up every other Saturday, and then he's working late. So 50, 60 hours a week, hey, that's great pay, really. He started kind of complaining about things about 4 months ago because he's a commissioned guy. He's got a base salary, and then the more people he signs on to loans, the more money he makes. Well, right now, he's signing just as many loans as he was 6 months ago. But about 3 months ago, they started changing the pay structure, and now he's still working 50, 60 hours a week. He's still signing or closing the same amount of loans, but now he's slated to make about $75,000 this year. So they actually cut his pay by about $35,000 by restructuring the pay system. You gotta love it. You figure something out. You figure out what the corporate world wants from you, right? You go out there and you do it, and then they change the parameters. And this happens to a lot of people. A buddy of mine who used to be in the car business, every time he would max out the payment plan, and they would suddenly switch it, he'd make 40 or 50 grand less, and he'd have to figure it out again until he got just sick of the fact that he didn't have consistent income from this job. Why do I bring this up? Yes.
He had a cap on it.
Yeah, and the reason I bring this up is because this chapter really is about lifestyle and leadership. It's about making the most of your time. And, you know, I just want to point out that this day and age, this kind of system, this kind of business, I think is more important nowadays than maybe it was 30, 40 years ago when the book was actually written, because there's just no good jobs out there. There's no such thing as job security. And I just think that's important for people to realize moving forward in the future, is that you need to do something to supplement your income. And most people think of, okay, I need more money, so therefore I'm going to go out and get a second job. So now I'm working, you know, my regular 8 hours, I have an hour break, and then I'm going to work for somebody else for 4 more hours, and they don't think, because they need Paul or I or someone like us to introduce them to something like this, to say, hey, you need another job? That's great. But don't go out and get another job. Why don't you go start a part-time business, and rather than put your time in where you're capped off at $10, $12 an hour, put 4 hours a day into this, and see where this takes you. You might not have that immediate income you would by going to work for somebody for $10 an hour, but in just a few months, if you apply this business, you're going to have that income coming in whether you work the business or not once it starts. So I just wanted to throw that in there because we're talking about salaries and what people are making.
That comes down to one of the wealth files from the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind book, where you have to, people need to change their focus from, working, trading their time for money to, working, being paid upon the results that they deliver, because when you're trading your time for money, someone else is in control of how much money you're going to get. That's the bottom line, period. It'll never change. And they can do whatever they want, obviously, as that example right there. Hey, you freaking are kicking ass selling mortgage loans over here and making bank doing it. Oh, frick, we can't have you making bank doing this. We got to fix this, man. You're making too much money. What the hell is your problem? You know what I mean? That's ridiculous stuff. So, yeah, that's powerful stuff there. Why network marketing? Where we go next, obviously, the two main reasons is people want some money in their pockets as soon as possible. And with this system, that can happen. People can have money in their pocket like by the end of the month. They want a fun opportunity. They want something that isn't dull and boring and have to go to the daily grind every day. She goes next into goals for wellness and happiness. Talking about the 6 major areas in our lives, which are spiritual, family, work, social, financial, and physical, and how all of these things play a role, in building your dream, really. And she talks about the idea of, too many people have miserable jobs and too many others don't have jobs at all. The thing to realize with network marketing is that you can have a good living and have fun doing it. That's the thing. You can start part-time and build from there, just like John was talking about. You can start this thing by literally applying 4 hours a week. I mean, yeah, you might have 2 jobs. You might be working 6-7 days a week, but somewhere in there you can squeeze four more hours out, or back off on your job or whatever, figure out a way to reduce some of your payments. Anyway, moving on along here, the final part of this chapter goes into the 7 steps to becoming a good leader. Step number 1 is becoming actively involved. Sponsor your friend into your company, and you help that friend sponsor their friend, and it just keeps going. The whole idea is that you're involved in their business. Their business is your business. That's the whole point behind network marketing. Your business is nothing on your own.
I love that ringer. So distracting. Turn it off during the hangout, Paul. Turn it off.
Your business is nothing on its own. Your business is the people that you sponsor into your organization. Their business is your business. So that's become actively involved in their business. Have a leader's attitude. You must have the vision and focus to want to be a leader. In network marketing, helping people be successful is your number 1 concern and responsibility. Again, so, you have to want that. If you want to help other people, boom, this is for you. Get organized. This is a good one. Sean.
I wanted to interrupt you on this one because this, to me, is so critically important, and it's something that I actually struggle with. You got to be organized. I mean, bottom line, if you're not organized, you become so inhibited by all those things that are making you feel disorganized. I mean, it's as simple as, keep the environment, your immediate environment, clean. Like, if you live in a sloppy house, if you have a sloppy car, if you have a sloppy office, which I do, by the way, it's a very sloppy office. It can actually inhibit the amount of work that you can get done just because it's like kind of a weight on your shoulders, these things. I've taken it to the next level that I realize, being a single father, I have my kids half the week. The other half of the week I don't have the kids. I'm typically working because I love my business. I love what I do. And right now, to me, it's the most important thing in my life outside my kids to build. And I enjoy doing it. Going to work to me is like hanging out or going out to have fun. That's what I guess, your work should be. What I've gone to the next level in doing is actually hiring someone to clean up my house. Come every 2 weeks and do the deep cleaning on it. So that I have that positive feeling about my environment being clean. Next thing, I got to have someone come clean the office. But Paul and I actually kind of remedied that. We realized that there was a lot of organization and things that needed to take place in our real estate business that we just were never going to have time to really truly get to, and it was making us fall behind in other areas of the business. So what did we do? We hired an assistant to put this whole thing together, which was still kind of an ongoing project, but we're getting closer and closer to being, truly organized. And I mean, the power of the organization. We had went from with our real estate business is a great example of this, Paul. How we went from kind of having a slow start to the year and this idea for a way to manage our leads and manage our real estate business. And Paul just basically said one day, you know what, I'm going to disappear into creating this and getting this thing operational because I think it's going to be key to our success. The minute we had our system up and running within a week, I think we tripled what we did for the whole year in the first week of implementing an organized, structured system. So organization, I think this is so important to like every aspect of your life, is to be organized.
And the beautiful thing about that is it really wasn't a completely organized and structured system. It was a throw this thing together because we know it's going to work organized system, and man, did it work. And now we're really starting to get it, down organized and systemized. And the funny thing is, talking about, the organization, cleaning up your life, even the fact of having someone come in and do your deep cleaning every other week, that's a system. Everything is systems. You know what I mean? You just created a system for your house to be deep cleaned every 2 weeks so you can have a fresh new feeling of this is awesome every 2 weeks, and it's a system. You just created a system there. So everything is all about systems and organization. So just to finish out the last 4 here, it talks about being flexible, and this is the one I like because, things are always changing, right? And so many people out there hate change. You have to turn that around and become someone who embraces change, who loves change, who looks forward to change, who wants change, who invites change, who takes change and says, all right, something new for me to dive into, keep my brain moving forward and thinking and learning and growing, and that's how you have to look at change. And then communicate. That says it all. You got to be open and making sense and talking to people. Manage your time effectively. Prioritize. Multitask, which I don't like that word. I'm going to replace multitask everywhere I see it with focus. Always be on time and early, and delegate. Big things right there. Inspire others to action. This is huge too. If a person really wants something they don't already have, they just need a plan. Help your distributor with a mission statement. This statement is his or her purpose and goal in life, which we have a mission, they have a mission statement, but you know what? Yeah, that's big for keeping your people moving forward. And this is your opportunity. Take advantage of it. This is a great kind of a rah-rah chapter to keep you motivated. You should jump in here and read this. Anytime you start feeling a little slack, jump in here and read this chapter, and it'll just inspire you to go, you know what? Yeah, what the hell am I thinking? I got to get out there. And with that, John, final words and take us home.
Final word is this is actually a short chapter. It's a very important chapter, and I want to say that each of those 7 things that Paul just went over are extremely important to not just your success in a network marketing business, but really your success in life and feeling self-confident and feeling successful every single day, what you do. I mean, in all honesty, those 7 key points you just brought up and quickly glossed over, short little paragraph on each point, but literally we could do 7 20-minute hangouts on each one of the points of this chapter 19. Maybe that's a Freedom Friday idea. But anyway, with that being said, I'm excited that we've made it through chapter 19 because I'm so excited to get started back from the beginning of this book. I don't want to rush it because we probably do have 2 more hangouts left of material here, but you know what? We'll see you back on Wednesday. We'll jump into the website. That's my last day before I'll be doing these hangouts from New York. So with that, hey, we're right at the beginning of a whole new session. So let's go out there, kick some tail, make it awesome. It's New Op Day. It's Organization Day. So with that being said, oh universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth through the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I may desire. All right, I thought of a desire there, so we'll see if it happens.